Building community wealth in Melusi. Team intro. The group forms part of a broader societal network with existing structures within and beyond. Our role is to facilitate collaboration, ensuring practical and achievable solutions through a bottom-up approach where community takes charge of shaping its own future. Melusi is multi-layered. The interest of Melusi goes further than people that stay there. There are multiple internal and external stakeholders playing a role in the community. The table of contents provides a framework for the project. The approach flows from past to present to future. Community-led efforts build on past experiences, addressing present challenges and creating sustainable solutions for the future. The past will look at the findings of 2023 and 2024 that inform the approach. To ground this project, it is necessary to reflect on the findings from 2023. In 2023, researchers mapped Melusi, surveyed the settlement, and gathered community insights. The key insights that shape the approach are that people are worried about not having a job. This highlights a significant gap in job stability. People have limited skills but are willing to learn. And lastly, 52% of people would consider running a business. This reflects a growing interest in entrepreneurship and the desire for independence. Moving on to the findings of 2024. The economic challenges identified in Melusi align closely with Max Neef's human needs framework, enforcing the idea that economic well-being extends beyond mere financial transaction. It is deeply tied to participation, identity, protection, and freedom. Max Neef also challenges the traditional concept of poverty as merely a lack of income, and instead introduces the idea of multiple poverties, where any unmet fundamental human needs result in a form of deprivation. The data gathered in 2024 highlighted key challenges faced by the people of Melusi, with many issues centered around unemployment and lack of economic opportunities. The economic conditions in Melusi highlight satisfier, impediments, and utopia in Max Neef's framework. Satisfiers in the community include informal businesses and social networks, which provide a degree of economic participation. Impediments include high unemployment, lack of infrastructure, and financial exclusion. By implementing inclusive interventions, Melusi can move towards a sustainable, community-driven economic future. After looking at the past, we will investigate potential solutions in the present.
In the investigation portion of the present, we will be looking into the problem, the approach, the parameters, and the documentation and process of findings. With a deeper understanding of the challenges identified by previous research groups, the problem statement was formed. How can community wealth be built in Melusi through community-driven interventions that promote local economic empowerment and well-being? In response to the problem statement, the approach focuses on scalable community-based strategies designed to build community wealth and promote economic well-being. To shape our focus, we set parameters to guide our interventions. Wealth is the stock of assets, both tangible and intangible, that an individual, business, or community possesses, which can generate future income and economic security. Wealth is often thought of in financial terms, but in reality, it exists in multiple forms. The 5 key types of wealth include financial, natural, human, community, and health, each contributing to well-being in different ways. While financial wealth is the primary focus of this community action plan, it is important to recognize the interconnected nature of wealth systems. Strengthening economic and financial stability creates a ripple effect, enhancing other forms of wealth. Max Neef's concept of poverties reframes wealth by measuring well-being beyond financial capital. Instead of defining wealth as money alone, he emphasizes that true wealth is achieved by meeting fundamental human needs. True prosperity comes from eliminating multiple poverties. In informal settlements, economic wealth can also be understood through the lens of sustainable livelihoods. This involves examining the various forms of capital that enable people to generate income and sustain themselves. The forms of capital for sustainable livelihoods can further be broken down into 4 categories, namely natural, human, physical, and social. While wealth represents the accumulation of valuable resources that contribute to long-term well-being, capital refers to the assets actively used to generate more wealth. Capital is dynamic and tied to economic production. Our community action plan aims to strategically increase capital with the objective of building lasting wealth for the community.
Another form of wealth we will be discussing is community wealth building, which is a place-based approach to development that seeks to harness wealth that communities create by pre-distributing it and redistributing it back into the hands of local communities and people. Community wealth building aims to reduce a community's reliance on external economic forces, making it a key strategy for creating wealth in informal settlements. Developing skills is essential for economic well-being in rural communities as it expands job prospects, supports entrepreneurship, and strengthens local economic stability. While the primary focus of the Community Action Plan is not skills development, its role in wealth creation cannot be overlooked. It remains an essential component of the broader systemic approach to building community wealth. The interventions for the Community Action Plan were informed by actively involving the community through group discussions, mapping exercises, transect walks, and ongoing dialogue to ensure the community's voices and input were at the forefront. After looking at the problem statement, the approach, and the parameters, we move on to Stage 3, the Community Action Plan. When looking at the Community Action Plan, we will unpack the approach, the vision, and the interventions. According to Matanire and Kambina, a Community Action Plan is a facilitative process that empowers communities to take charge of their developmental agendas with support from developmental agents. A Community Action Plan involves determining what needs to be done, who is responsible, how it will be implemented, and when and where these actions will take place. Community action planning prioritizes community participation as a key driver of development, with the goal of empowerment, ownership, and long-term sustainability. Through active community participation, the aim is to achieve the objectives of the bottom-up approach as shown above. When looking at a systems approach, it is important to understand what it means. A systems approach involves examining how different components of a problem are interconnected rather than addressing them in isolation. Instead of isolated interventions, the Community Action Plan will focus on building interconnected systems. These systems will be broken up into now, sooner, and later approaches as prescribed by Nabil Hamdi. The figure above describes the aim of the Community Action Plan from a theoretical framework. The Community Action Plan is designed to strengthen the foundations of community wealth by increasing various forms of capital. Through targeted interventions, the aim is to develop human capital, build social capital, and grow financial capital by creating income-generated opportunities. Our Community Action Plan will further be broken down into 4 interventions. Our interventions will be structured using the following framework. The scope. We will look at unpacking the intervention and explaining it in terms of its context, theoretical framework, and problems. The how will explore the intervention in terms of now, sooner, and later with relevant precedents. The where explains where the intervention will take place and its spatial considerations.
We are now starting at Cap 1, Digital Inclusion and Connectivity. Digital inclusion enables communities to participate in the digital economy, providing access to jobs, education, financial services, and entrepreneurship. Limited access to the digital economy creates a major barrier, preventing many from accessing opportunities that could improve their livelihoods. The term digital refers to the use of devices, networks, and online platforms that facilitate communication, access to information, and economic participation. Digital inclusion plays a crucial role in increasing capital across multiple dimensions. It enhances human capital by providing access to education, skills development, and job opportunities. It builds social capital by connecting individuals to valuable networks, resources, and support systems. And it expands financial capital by allowing communities to participate more actively in the economy. The aim of this intervention is to address the problems identified and enable Melusi to actively participate and benefit from the digital economy. The approach will be broken down into the now, soon, and later, as mentioned previously. Digital inclusion also integrates with the other interventions that will be further explored later on. The main challenge of this intervention lies in its implementation. For the now intervention, the idea is to start by establishing a digital hub which could gradually expand into a broader network serving all of Melusi. The hub could be housed at either the community hall or Maido, as these spaces already have the capacity to host such an initiative. As the intervention grows, the intervention could evolve into a dedicated space. Sourcing computers and digital devices may involve partnerships with businesses, organizations, or recycling and repair centers, which could provide refurbished equipment. Internet access can leverage Antoine's municipality's free Wi-Fi initiative, which provides 1 gigabyte of data per person per day. A crucial next step is identifying volunteers to manage the program and train individuals in digital skills. The soon intervention. Once the digital hub is operational, the next step is to expand access and digital skills training to further integrate Melusi's residents into the digital economy. A community-driven digital marketplace could help residents find work, advertise businesses, and sell products. While a Facebook page already exists, limited access to digital tools prevents full community participation. Freelancing and remote work training can equip residents with skills in e-commerce, digital marketing, and gig economy work. Lastly, improving microfinance and digital banking access will enable residents to use mobile banking and digital payment platforms, assisting with credit applications and business development. The People's Valley Mesh project is a strong precedent for low-cost Wi-Fi solutions, using wireless mesh networking to provide affordable internet access in rural areas. The project covered 15 square kilometers using 9 single radio nodes, creating an efficient and scalable network. A key innovation was the use of cantenas, homemade directional antennas made from tin cans and other locally available materials. These cantenas connected to low-cost Wi-Fi cards, allowing residents to access the network without the need for expensive infrastructure. This project proved that rural communities can build and maintain their own communication networks, offering a low-cost, self-sustaining model that could be adapted to informal settlements like Melusi. The later intervention is full digital connectivity across Melusi, ensuring every household has the option to access affordable, stable internet. To expand the network, the intervention follows the People's Valley project approach, allowing households to tap into an existing Wi-Fi network and create a mesh system that extends coverage without major capital investment. While this intervention will address the problems surrounding digital inclusion, it is important to note that broader challenges still remain. For long-term success, digital inclusion must be integrated with efforts to improve local infrastructure, education, and opportunities, creating a sustainable digital ecosystem in Melusi. The spatial implementation of the connectivity intervention will begin with establishing a centralized connectivity hub. It will then expand to public space connections before finally enabling reliable home connections. This concludes Intervention 1.
Now we go into the second intervention, which is looking at enhancing local agricultural systems in Melusi. The goal is to create sustainable livelihoods in Melusi by using all 4 types of capital to improve household income and food security, contributing to the community wealth building. This intervention aligns with government efforts such as the Gauteng Township Economic Development Bill, which promotes self-sufficiency in sectors like agriculture to drive economic growth in townships. Problems leading to this intervention were noted. These included little access to land, water, and resources, lack of farming skills and knowledge, little agricultural collaboration, poor security of agriculture, and poor demarcation of land. As illustrated, all 4 capitals are satisfied by this intervention at varying stages. During site visits in Melusi, we established that existing agricultural systems were located centrally, avoiding path edges, which are susceptible to dumping. Fruit trees and vegetable gardens and yards were also observed, along with quality issues in the produce. The precedent study, the Manzi Garden Project, is an urban agricultural initiative aimed at providing meals to underprivileged children. VPUU acts as a local economic development broker, promoting sustainable growth through learning hubs and supporting education. It is recommended that VPUU help equip community members to empower the community to take on this role. From 2023, it was discovered that approximately 25% of Melusi households had a food garden. To kickstart the intervention, residents will be encouraged to engage in subsistence farming at home through collaborative learning initiatives like competitions, workshops, and events. These will be led by an agricultural association made up of experienced farmers in Melusi, with guidance from VPUU and supported by community leaders and farmers. The proposed intervention involves setting up market and community gardens at the nursery, where agricultural systems already exist. Market gardens will grow produce for sale, and community gardens will support families. Plots will be allocated to community leaders, farmers, and residents, with a focus on a learning area for children. The design will prioritize safety through public surveillance due to the area's high crime risks. However, additional measures may be required. Over time, the nursery is expected to evolve into a vibrant agricultural community hub, supported by complementary interventions. The eventual installation of bulk services by the council will be necessary. The summary shows the steps that need to be taken for this intervention at each stage, how it works as a system, and how this intervention interacts with other interventions. The Now intervention aims at increasing home gardens in Melusi. The Soon intervention should be rolled out in phases at the nursery, with business-oriented programs located along the street edges and public or learning areas placed centrally. A composting zone will also be included as part of the plan. The aspiration, therefore, is to create a vibrant agriculture-oriented community hub that facilitates for skill development and economic well-being. This concludes the second intervention.
We will be looking at waste management as an economic opportunity as the third intervention. It will be broken down into parts 3.1 and 3.2. Waste management in Melusi offers the chance to create a local wealth ecosystem by transforming discarded materials into valuable sources. This can generate income and employment while improving public health. In 2023 to 2024, data show that most community residents dispose of waste illegally or outside their yards. Enhancing waste services, promoting recycling, and educating the community can turn waste into a resource that generates income and supports local economic growth. The types of waste commonly found in Melusi include non-recyclable and recyclable waste. By creating a structured waste management system, waste can be turned into an economic asset while improving living conditions. This approach will aim to establish a circular economy. In a circular economy, waste is transformed into a valuable resource, creating healthier communities, thriving ecosystems, and sustainable economies. Waste management plays a crucial role in increasing capital across multiple dimensions and thereby improving wealth building in Melusi. Our interventions will look at two approaches for the types of waste, namely organic and recyclable waste. The first part of the waste management intervention will focus on recyclable waste management. Next, we will transition from now to sooner to later of the recycling intervention. Now, step 1, educating and inspiring the community and creating awareness. Community members will attend sessions with representatives from external recycling centers like Impact. This will raise awareness and inspire action by highlighting the positive impact recycling can have on the community. Step 2, community cleanup and engagement. Following the educational talk, a community cleanup at the nursery will be organized, led by field researcher representatives from MIDO. This hands-on event will put recycling into practice, encourage active participation, and identify individuals interested in taking on leadership roles for future initiatives. Soon, in the next phase, we focus on active participation and skill building to make recycling a daily habit. Sorting waste. Families sort recyclables at home with support from field workers and donated bags, while trained residents manage waste sorting at a designated nursery space for efficient recycling. Upcycling and creativity. Community members will come together to transform recyclables into useful products. Lastly, a community market where upcycled products will be sold at a market under the trees across from MIDO. Building rubble is a significant challenge in Melusi, but repurposing this rubble into durable paving stones presents a practical and sustainable solution. Another intervention example is the creation of eco-bricks, which also improves infrastructure challenges as mentioned previously. Later, as Melusi's waste management initiative grows, two key developments will drive long-term sustainability: a formalized market, which is a marketplace where upcycled materials, products, and local produce from small-scale agriculture farming are sold, providing entrepreneurs with a platform. Recycling Exchange Center, a hub for trading and processing recyclables, offering steady income and formal roles for waste pickers while promoting a circular economy. The long-term aim is that waste pickers will transition into formal roles with long-term contracts and skills training, paving the way for sustainable employment. Long-term, waste pickers will gain a formal role with contracts and training, ensuring sustainable jobs, community growth, and a cleaner community. Improving waste management in Melusi involves linking to local recycling centers and engaging stakeholders like the City of Tshwane. The City of Tshwane can enhance waste management and recycling in Melusi by implementing a structured multi-phase plan, starting with community education and engagement. This approach, linked to existing local recycling centers, will involve key external stakeholders, including the municipality and industry partners. As a precedent, the Whites Gully Recycling Center shows how structured recycling reduces waste, creates jobs, and supports sustainability. Applying this in Melusi can improve environmental health, generate income, and integrate waste pickers into formal employment, creating a cleaner and safer community. The goal is to create a dynamic recycling-focused community hub that promotes skill development, economic opportunities, and sustainable waste management with social interaction and community markets throughout. Next up, looking at organic waste as an economic opportunity. When addressing the waste management of organic material, composting emerges as the most effective and sustainable solution as it reduces landfill waste while turning organic material into a useful resource. As precedent, turning household waste into eco-gold, This initiative equips households with a Bokashi food composting starter kit, including a waste bin, specialized flakes, and training, empowering community members to compost food and waste at home. This can be implemented at Melusi. Now, educating the community on composting's benefits by inviting experts to showcase its potential at Melusi. Encouraging households to separate organic waste at the source for composting. Soon, a structured composting system can be established to ensure efficient waste collection, processing, and utilization. The community will be divided into sections, with each assigned a dedicated member responsible for collecting organic waste from households. Designated composting sites can be set up to process organic waste efficiently, with the community nursery being a recommended site to align with agriculture initiatives firstly. Later, developing a community-run composting business is essential for expanding organic waste management in Melusi. By centralizing operations, the business can process larger waste volumes efficiently, creating income opportunities. To ensure long-term success, the business must be deeply embedded in the community, with residents involved at every stage, from collection to production. Composting will keep the cycle of community wealth activated. The intervention stems from small-scale agriculture at the nursery center, branching out to composting, sorting, and waste drop-off areas, with social spaces along the street edge, creating a vibrant community interface. To conclude the presentation, we reflect on the findings and outcomes of this project. The ultimate goal of the Community Action Plan is to integrate multiple forms of capital, financial, human, natural, and social, in a way that collectively supports sustainable wealth creation in Melusi. This approach seeks to build a self-sustaining local economy that keeps wealth within the community through cooperative schemes, local businesses, and skills development. It is important to note that while our interventions focus on the spreading of influence throughout Melusi, there are two main locations where interventions will be initiated, which are Maido and the nursery. By linking digital inclusion, waste management, and urban agriculture, the Community Action Plan establishes a foundation for economic resilience, where each intervention reinforces and amplifies the impact of the others. Looking ahead, the next steps involve refining strategies, deepening community engagement, and emphasizing local ownership and leadership. By doing so, we ensure that the community growth established by this plan remains rooted in the community's vision and aspirations.